Welcome to Reno Recon. I'm Rosanna, and today we're going to dive into step number 1 of planning your home renovation, which is setting your budget. The main reason why setting your budget is where you want to start is efficiency. So many homeowners want to get a home renovation done, and then they get stuck in these circles of what I call pseudo productivity, where it feels like you're planning, but you actually aren't. And then you end up just not getting around to it. So many people waste time, energy, and money. Maybe you're buying a few things and trying some things out, that taking on a home reno starts to feel daunting and way too risky. Everything you choose to do comes down to how much you can spend. Everyone's got a budget. Everyone's got a top line. When you're first considering a home renovation, it's totally normal to get excited. You're scrolling through images and saving them, looking at magazines. Maybe you go to a couple of furniture stores and you pick up some paint swatches. But once you actually decide to do a home renovation, it is time to act. Save your time, save your money, save your energy, and start getting shit done. The second reason why you want to set your budget is it's the first question a contractor is going to ask you. What's your budget? And you better have a number ready, because if you don't, that is a red flag. It signals to the contractor, you've never done this before, you haven't done your homework, you are not taking this seriously, and that equals difficult. A contractor doesn't want to spend a ton of time teaching you about the process and holding your hand. That contractor's got a full team of people that he's trying to keep employed, and he's sussing you out as a client as much as you're sussing him out as a contractor. In today's market, good contractors have their pick of projects. It's just the way it is. And you want to come across as a good client. By the time you're ready to consult with a contractor, you've already gone through steps 1, 2, and 3 of planning your home reno. For a snapshot on those, you can check out my other video. A set budget is going to allow you to have something standard to compare your scope of work with when you shop it out to different contractors. You can look at how all the numbers break down and choose the contractor that's the best fit for you. I know a homeowner's biggest fear is that when they share their budget with a contractor, the contractor's going to fill that budget to the max. And there is some truth to that. You don't have to disclose your full budget with a contractor. You got to know what your top line is, and it's kind of like a real estate deal in a hot market. Your first offer in should be something that's realistic, not offensive, and plausible to actually achieve, knowing that you have a little bit of pad in there to have some negotiations with, because you probably will negotiate your first estimate from a contractor. When you're setting your budget, you also have to keep in mind that you want a contingency fund. That's usually about 10% of the amount of the project total. There's always going to be surprises in a renovation, and some of them are probably going to be expected, but you should anticipate that you're going to go above your signed off scope of work. You also want to have that contingency fund available for construction law. Now, this is going to vary depending on where you live, but over here, tradespeople involved in home improvements can put a lien against your property if they don't get paid. I know, scary stuff. We will tackle that another time, but for today's purposes, just know, have a 10% contingency fund available. When setting a budget, I know so many people want to know what the costs are like to know where they rank in terms of their budget. Why that's not entirely helpful is it kind of doesn't matter. When you have your scope of work and you go shop it out with a contractor, those are the real costs. Having an idea might just set you up for disappointment, but I want to give you some kind of ballpark shape of things. If you think you're going to get a 3-bedroom house, 2-bathroom, 1 kitchen done for $150,000, you're probably dreaming. Labor is very, very expensive. When you look at some of the shows that I've worked on, most of the real costs of those whole home renovations are somewhere between $300,000 and $500,000. It's all going to depend on what's behind the walls, insulation, structure, flooring, new windows. Those are the hugest part of your cost. If you have a home that was built before 1980, you're probably going to run into a lot of surprises. Some 1990 builds going forward, you're not likely to run into major issues like electrical or a lack of insulation. You could probably amp those up, and the building codes have changed since then, but you'll have a cheaper renovation. Same with if you're in the city connected to infrastructure, that's also going to make it easier depending on the scope of work itself. I hope that gives you a bit of a general idea. So, how do you set your budget? The reason why so many people skip this step is because it's hard. It's work, it's not fun, it's individualized, and no one can do it for you. So I recommend taking the approach of a funnel. First, you got to figure out all the funds that you have available to you, whether that's in your savings, your borrowing, what is the maximum amount you could borrow, what do the monthly payments look like based on that maximum amount, and can you manage it with your income? Then when you have that number, you can figure out what you want to split off for things like vacations, retirement fund, etc. The next thing that you can go and do is check out banks' online tools. There are so many banks that have these renovation calculators. It's such a common thing people go through. It's widespread. So you don't even have to be a client half the time to go and check them out. Go use all the free resources that you can. If you don't have a financial advisor or planner, now might be a good time to get one, because that's someone who's specialized in taking a look at your personal finances and teaching you how to best distribute them. It's a good thing for life in general. Another person you can consult is your real estate agent. Figure out what renovated properties in your area are selling for. The general rule is you don't want to put more into your renovation than you can get out and profit from one day. One of the best ways to get a sense of budgets is to talk to contractors and ask if they'll disclose estimates based on previous projects they did. See if you can see before and after photos, talk to other homeowners, look online for groups like HomeStars that give recommendations for contractors, and this will give you the best clue of what you can afford. Now, contractors are probably going to give you estimates on high budgets or closer to where they would like to be doing projects, which is totally normal. But see if you can get a range. See if you can get low and high so that you can see the spectrum of where you can live at. At the end of the day, a home renovation is a big investment, so do something that's going to make you happy. Most homeowners just imitate images that they see in magazines or TV shows, and it might not actually be the best fit for you. This is why hiring a designer is something that is so recommended, and it's considered luxe, but they're probably going to help solve problems for you that you might not have even known that you had. Even if you can't hire a designer, think about the way you want to live and how to improve your own quality of life to choose the best renovation for you. I highly recommend planning for a home renovation when you can get done everything that you want at the same time, or at least as much as possible. That's how you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. It's kind of like bulk grocery shopping that way. Talk to anyone who's done a staggered home reno, and they'll probably tell you they wish they had just gotten it all done at once. Renos are stressful. They're right up there with death and divorce. A staggered reno can give you short-term financial benefits, but in the long run, you will pay more. There's also that effect of being happy with the thing that got done, but then more disappointed about the things that are still yet to be done. And chances are you won't get around to it. Okay, you're setting your budget. Now you're ready for step number 2. Choose the spaces you want to renovate.